Craig, the two hottest teams in all of Major League Baseball also have the two best records in all of the bigs, and they both play in the National League. We'll start with the second hottest team in Major League Baseball. The New York Mets, Craig, have won 6 straight games, and they had the second best record in both the National League and all of MLB, 73-39 straight up. And Francisco Lindor on a 13-game run scoring streak. And the New York Mets have a 7-game lead in the National League East over both the Atlanta Braves and a 10-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. And this market, Craig, to win the NL East Championship has worked heavily in favor of the Mets. Even after the Mets took 4 of 5 games against the Braves in Citi Field over the weekend in a very impactful series, they were minus 900 with a 6.5 game lead. They have maintained and upped that lead now to 7 games on this 6-game winning streak, and you see that reflected in the market. Minus 1,400 for the Amazons to win the National League East as the Braves trail by 7 games. But Craig, in the National League East, we might see all 3 of these teams in the postseason. We'll get to that discussion in just a little bit by looking at the National League pennant odds and where both the Braves and the Phillies stack up in that race for the pennant as a part of the wild card competition. But our focus right now is on the 2 hottest teams in baseball. The New York Mets, again, riding a 6-game winning streak and have won 15 of their last 17 games. But they can't quite catch the Dodgers because Los Angeles, Mookie Betts and company, the hottest team in baseball. The Dodgers on a 10-game winning streak. Los Angeles has won 10 straight games, Craig, and have covered on the run line as a run line favorite in all 10 of those wins and still booked as the favorites at plus 160 to win the National League pennant. Now, here's where we can see the movement, Craig. The Mets have moved up this board, closing that gap slightly against the Dodgers. Only 60 cents of distinction here, plus 160 for LA, plus 220 for New York, and their records also closing the gap. Again, LA 77-33 straight up. New York 73-39. Not just the 2 best records in the National League, but the 2 best records in all of baseball. The Mets just yesterday, Craig, plus 240. Before the weekend got started, plus 290. So we have seen them close that gap on the Dodgers, but still a peg behind according to the odds. Los Angeles, the favorites, at plus 160. But now, Craig, let's discuss the National League wild card. That is, the Braves and the Phillies own those 2 top spots in the National League wild card race right now. The Braves have a 4-game lead for that top spot. The Phillies sit in the 2nd spot in the wild card standings, and the Padres round out the 3 wild card positions right now in the National League. The Braves and Padres both slightly moving back in this market, tied for the 3rd best price to win the National League at plus 700. And Craig, San Diego, after Juan Soto became a member of the Padres following the trade deadline, their number got as low as plus 490. Now $2 of movement against the Padres, where things currently stand in the National League pennant. So our 3 wild card teams, again, the Braves, the Phillies, the Padres, in that order. Whoever loses the National League Central right now is trailing the wild card spot. And right now, Craig, St. Louis has a 1-game lead for that National League Central and better odds at 13-1 to win the National League than the Brewers at 20-1. So again, Craig, the National League East will play a big role in the NL postseason picture. The Mets most likely will be the number 2 seed, only trailing the Dodgers, and the Braves and the Phillies at this moment, Craig, if the season were to end today, would be in the National League postseason as well. So maybe not the divisional prices where the Mets maintain a 7-game lead over Atlanta, but here in the National League pennant odds, we can think of how that plays out for those wild card standings. Again, the Braves and the Padres tied for the 3rd best price, and the Phillies now, Craig, with the 6th best number on the board at 15-1. Yesterday, that price was 18-1. So all of this market movement, using the pennant odds right now, can display that postseason picture in the National League, where the 2 teams at the top are the 2 best teams in baseball from a record perspective, the Dodgers and the Mets. But pay attention to those prices behind them. The Braves, the Padres, the Phillies, and whoever wins the National League Central. Right now, the Redbirds a 1-game lead over the Brew Crew. Craig, so much to get to in the final month and a half or so. The 50-game sprint to end out the Major League Baseball regular season.